everyone, I'm Sarah and I'm a low-carb master chef for Evergreen. In this video I will be making two healthiest snacks. So we're gonna make raw Snickers bars and we're gonna make a gingerbread banana bread, and both are completely vegan. So if you want to know how to make these snacks, keep on watching. We're starting with making the banana bread. First we're gonna mix the dry ingredients. So I got the dry ingredients over there and these are the wet ingredients. So I've got all the dry ingredients here. I have some almond flour, then I have dry oats. This is just regular flour. I use like a whole wheat, but you can also use spelt flour or buckwheat, whatever you prefer if you also want to make it gluten-free. Then I've got the spice mix. This is made with allspice, ginger, cinnamon and nutmeg. I've got a bit of brown sugar here, and these are some raisins. Now over here I've got the wet ingredients. This is some melted coconut oil. I've got some plant-based milk here. You can use any type you like. This is soy milk, but I also made this with almond milk and that works really well as well. I've got a bit of maple syrup here. This is some what we call flax egg. So it's flaxseed mixed with water. And then finally I've got some mashed bananas over here. So we're gonna mix the dry ingredients together. Here I've got the flour and I also put in a little bit of salt and some baking powder to make sure that the banana really rises. The oats, almond meal, spice mix, sugar, and the banana. Like I mentioned, I used 3.5 bananas because my bananas were quite small. But if you have 3 really large ones, that will work as well. Just yeah, because too much banana will make sure that the batter is a bit too wet. Then we're going to use the plant milk, adding in the flaxseed, maple syrup. You can use agave syrup as well if you have that in your pantry. It really doesn't make a big difference. It's just that I prefer maple syrup or agave syrup to regular sugar because these are not refined sugars, and that makes it a bit more healthy. Like, it's still sugar, so it still has the same effect on your body, but these are more natural sugars. It's up to you to decide how that sort of fits into your diet. These are like more healthy snacks, but they're not they're not super healthy because there's still sugar in it. I'm gonna add the coconut oil. So as you can see, the batter is now well combined, there are no lumps whatsoever, and now I'm gonna add the raisins. So now we're gonna put this into the baking tin. I already preheated the oven on 180 degrees. Don't put it up higher, otherwise it will burn. So I just greased this tin with a bit of coconut oil. You can also use a bit of plant-based butter or other kind of oil if you prefer that. I have everything in the tin and I'm gonna bake this on 180 degrees for about 45 to 50 minutes. So now we're gonna continue with our healthy snacks and we're gonna make raw Snickers bars. So I have a whole bunch of peanut butter here. This is a mixture of crunchy and smooth peanut butter. It depends on what you like. I usually use smooth, but crunchy is always nice. Then it resembles the Snickers bars more if you have a crunchy one. So I'm just gonna add that. Then I'm going to add a bit of maple syrup, and I'm also going to add a bit of plant milk to make it a bit more smooth. Just going to mix that up. And then I'm going to add the oats. So the mixture is ready, and what I'm now going to do is I'm going to add the raisins and just fold them through. I already lined this with parchment paper. This is just like a baking tin that you can also use for vegetables, potatoes, and whatsoever. And now we're just going to transfer everything from this bowl into here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to press everything down. I use a fork for this. You can use the behind of a spoon as well, or you can do it with your fingers. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure that everything is pressed well together. And it's really important to use parchment paper because if you just grease it and then put it in the fridge, it will be really hard to cut the pieces into individual pieces. And now that it's completely even, we can make the chocolate layer. So what I've got here is maple syrup, coconut oil. This is melted but not hot anymore, and then I've got some raw cocoa powder. So what we're going to do is mix 8 tablespoons of this with 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. And I mixed that with the cocoa. This was about 6 tablespoons. and then we're gonna pour it on the bar. Everything's now ready. We put the Snickers bars in the fridge for about 15 minutes. You can see once they're ready that the coconut oil chocolate becomes very solid, and that's good so they can cut it into like smaller pieces. So it's time to taste. I really can't wait. I'll start with the banana bread first. I really love this banana bread because it's somewhat healthy, like there's still sugar in it but not too much. And this is also really good to freeze, so I cut it up into individual pieces, put it in my freezer and then thaw them before I go to college or a seminar, so that I always have like a nice snack at hand. Let's try the Snickers. It's so nice because it really reminds me of Snickers, but regular Snickers are obviously not vegan, not super healthy, and these are so good. Thanks so much for watching and we'll see you in the next one.